Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, and today's tool talk I want to talk about the Dewalt 6-in-1 flip and switch driver. It's going to be a tool talk and not a review. One is because I haven't had this for a long time, so I can't give it my seal of approval or my seal of disapproval because I haven't had it long enough to where I could tell you that. But as always, if you're watching this video, months from now of whenever I posted it, make sure before you purchase something, if I talk about it, check the top comment. If I ever have an issue, I will pin a comment at the top and explain what that issue is so you can make the best decision. Another reason is I just want to share with you how I'm using this, why I purchased it, and if you're a person who has a Klein 11-in-1 or 14-in-1 or maybe another brand, I think in most cases what I'm going to show you is going to work, but there is some places where it won't, and I've got one of those options, and I'll share that with you as we get into it. But just a quick overview, if you look at it, it looks just like your normal bit holder. But if I take a standard bit like this one, you can see it doesn't fit real well. It's a lot of slop, doesn't lock into place. And that is because this is a 5/16 nut driver. They provide you with these sleeves that have a ball bearing, and then within that sleeve, you have reversible bits with the ball bearing. That might look familiar to you if you use a screwdriver like this because it's a very similar setup. And then that fits within this sleeve, which gives you the ability to quickly change, bits to different ones however you want to. But that's the ability to do that now in your drill instead of just in a screwdriver. And I think it's probably more beneficial to have that setup in a drill than even it might be in your screwdriver, because I'll carry this with me, and then if I'm doing work, the reason why we have something like this is I'm doing a lot of Phillips, but then every now and then I might run into a slotted. Well, now I can change this over to a slotted and get that screw out and then go right back to Phillips. And I'm able to store all that right here. I don't have to find something to do with that bit. But if I'm somebody who, is running into it consistently, I prefer dedicated screwdrivers. I think it's faster than remembering where the bit is I'm wanting to use and swapping these around and all those things like that. But with the drill, I wouldn't be able to keep it all stored in my screwdriver. If I want to change this bit, I've got to take this bit out, get my other bit out, and then find something to do with this one while I'm using that one. And then if I want to swap, I've got to go back and forth, or I've got to change out the entire driver to another one if I've got a bit already in it. Whatever it is, that's just going to be a lot longer process than even it is with this screwdriver. So I think it saves you more time with that. So again, I think this is a useful tool for what it's intended for, because this has a lot of reviews and it's actually a well-reviewed product. Has 4.5 stars out of 5. But within those reviews, when I read them, I heard 2 of the same complaints, and then there's one that I've noticed, but I've got a fix for it at the end if you'll stay tuned for that. But one of the things that they mentioned was, well, it's not magnetic, and they'd like to have a magnetic one, and it's not. So if you're looking for that, it's not the case, but it never claimed that it was. I thought I might have a fix for that, and I'll get into that in a minute, but I don't, but we'll talk about it. The second thing is, people said, well, whenever I use this, sometimes the bits get stuck in the fasteners, and when I pull away, the bit stays in the fastener. Well, one thing with that is, this is not impact rated. It doesn't say it on the package. It doesn't say it anywhere in the specifications for it. I couldn't find anywhere that it was. And I don't think it's intended to do heavy duty work in an impact, because the more torque you create, the more that bit and fastener are going to bite into each other. And these bits are made to where you can take them out and swap them around easily. They're made to come out in that way. And if they weren't, we'd all be complaining, well, I really like this, except for the bits are so hard, to get out. So I think if you use it in a situation where you're building decks or you're framing with it, and I'm not saying you can't use it for that, but I think you're more apt to have your bits hold into those kind of fasteners and pull out than if you were to use something like, one of these is what I use if I'm doing something like that, where the bits actually lock in, and the only way to release them is to pull back on a sleeve, and then you can change those out if you want to. Milwaukee has a great one. Dewalt has one that my friends just introduced me to. It's got a little bit slimmer head, but again, that's a whole nother rabbit hole I'm not going to go down. But what I'm saying is, if you're having that issue, it could possibly be that you're using this tool for something that it might not be intended for. So, but let me know in the comments below, because this has been out for a while, whether it was in the 7-in-1 or whether or the 7-piece set or the 4-piece set. Let me know if you've had that issue with yours, because again, I haven't put a lot of miles on this one, and maybe it's something that's coming in the near future for me. But here's the reason why I purchased this, and here's how I'm using this. I don't even care that I got these. These bits are nice. I'm glad that they gave me the sleeves. I probably might store them somewhere just to have the extra options. But this right here within itself, I can store now on my bit holders on my TP4B. And now that gives me the option that if I'm doing some light duty work that has some options where I'm doing different fasteners and I need to swap around and I don't want to get into my bit storage and keep swapping bits, I can take the Klein 11-in-1 that I'm already carrying with me. I can take the 1/4-inch sleeve out of that one. And if you notice, the difference between these is very small. I think it's pretty much just a sheen on the metal. Exactly the same size, has the same ball bearing. The Klein Tools 11-in-1 also fits within there, locks into place. I can change the bits out, swap those around. Same difference as if I was using the ones that actually came with the tool, and I'm already carrying these on me. So there's no sense in not using those and having to keep up with some extra things. I can also take the bits out of the other side. I wouldn't be able to use this sleeve because it's bigger, but I can still use these bits that are in there. So now I have the ability to take the bits that are in my 11-in-1, use those in my drill. I already have these with me anyways. So now I can use all the bits that I keep in this screwdriver, and then I've got this regular bits in my super screwdriver and my 14-in-1 handle that I can use in my flip socket if I need to. But it just gives me more options to be able to do that and use those in here. And then sometimes the option of quickly changing is what I'm looking for. Now, I thought I'd be able to fix the magnetic feature. Remember I said that that was one of the complaints, was people would like to have a magnetic one. I also have the Klein Tools magnetic 11-in-1, and I thought, well, that's good, I'll be able to fix that. I can just use the sleeve out of the magnetic one because the magnet is actually in the sleeve. But as you can tell, it's actually a little bit longer than the Dewalt, which is not the length that's the problem, but it's missing the ball bearing. There's no ball bearing on the magnetic version. So there's nothing to lock it into place, and it's got a little bit of slop because of that. So you can't use this. But if I'm being honest with you, I've not been too thrilled with the magnetic function on this screwdriver anyways. It's better than nothing, but it's not a big gain or a big loss that I'm not getting to use that in this driver. So then that gets me to the actual problem that I've noticed with it and that I've had with it. But again, the thing I've noticed is easily fixable. So you can take some red electric tape and you can place it onto the driver like that, and it takes very few loops before you get all the way around it. And then now you're stuck with your driver actually looking better in your tool than what it looked like before. Now, if you're a Dewalt fan, I'm just messing with you. As I showed you before, I use other Dewalt drivers. I've got some Dewalt tools. I just know that a lot of you think that I'm a Milwaukee only guy, and I wanted to just mess with you. But again, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Let me know if this is something that you already have, how it's been working out for you. And then let me know if you think that this is interesting and something that you might can use in your day-to-day job. But again, I hope that this was useful to you. Hope that you got something out of it. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next video.